Hey, this is Hardy Boy again, and I wanted to do a video talking about my opinion on Angry Grandpa's death. So, first of all, the story basically was that if you haven't heard of Angry Grandpa, the story basically was that he started to get really weak and stuff. At first, it started off with him telling his son that he was tired for about a week. Then after all that happened, he came over like to Michael Green's house, and meaning his father, and he was doing really bad. He couldn't socialize or anything, and like he couldn't even hold a cigarette properly. And basically, the infection in his body that he had just took his life. The cancer basically beat him. And the weird thing was, like, after he was at the hospital for a few days, he started to like improve and stuff. Then I ended up going back in there like 2 days later after that week. And he was in the ICU for quite a while, so he couldn't be filmed very often. And eventually, after he started getting better after the intensive care, he went out of that unit. And then he went from there to basically a facility with nurses that could help him since he was really weak and tired. And since he couldn't really walk much anymore since he had been in the hospital for a while, they basically had to give him these different types of treatments like physical exercise and stuff like that to treat his legs so he could walk again. So they had to get him standing for a few minutes, like in front of the hospital bed. And a couple times they had him walking a few steps. Then eventually it got to the point where he was still kind of weak, but he was well enough to go home. So a few days after he got home, basically he started to go off in his head again and couldn't really speak or talk. And then they stood over him like the day that he had died. And the last thing that they ever heard from him basically was Michael was like, "I love you, Dad." And his dad said, "I love you too, son." And those were the last words they ended up hearing before he was dead. Like, I was a big fan of this dude, and I was very sad and very brokenhearted when I first found out that he died. I just wanted to see, like, what your opinions are, and what you think about this. Because I still cannot get over that he's gone. This is a video on my opinion on how I felt.